Hi, welcome back, dear ones. Are you already feeling the difficult energies that are surrounding us at the moment? You might. There's a lot going on cosmically, and I want to share with you the energies and themes for April 2024 that I'm picking up on for the collective and also for many individuals in their personal lives. So as you can see in the title, what comes up is an invitation to resist. Now, I am aware that the word resist and resistance is a word with a negative implication. But when you hear what I have to say and what I have to share on this topic, you will know why that is. Now, the reason why this comes up as a kind of a guideline for the month of April, for these particular interesting weeks that we're in at the moment already, actually, is because there will be a lot of temptation to get negative, temptation to get involved in arguments, temptation to feel low. There will be temptations to enter emotional states and mental states that are not productive, that are not helpful, that are very low vibration, that are filled with fear, that are filled with depressed emotions, so depression, that are filled with anxiety, that are filled with uncertainty. And so these temptations, they are approaching us, or you might actually find yourself surrounded by them already. So a lot from the outside world might want to drag you into this right now. And so the guidance for this month is resist this temptation. Don't see it as something that is worthy of your time, that is worthy of your focus, of your energy, of your attention, of your emotions, because it isn't. What it is going to do, if you allow this, is it is going to take your power away. It will leave you feel this big or small. It will leave you, the more you enter this, the more you give in, and the more you don't realize that this is actually temptation being put to you, with you having a decision to make, a self-empowered decision as to whether you give in to the temptation or whether you resist this temptation. If we give into that, we will be left drained, disempowered, and deprived of our creator abilities. You know yourself, when you find yourself in a state of fear, of anxiety, of low frequency emotions, there is not much creative power within you then. And so all these temptations will in effect also be put to you in order to create that within you, so that you don't create actually or manifest other things. So if we resist these temptations, it requires of us that we see them as that. So when you see things in the outside world coming towards you, whether it is your news, whether it is your neighbors, whether it is somewhere in the shop, whether it is your family, whether it is your friends, whether it is your work colleagues, whether it is the situation you're in, whether it's an inner state you're in, where you notice certain negative thoughts coming up again and again and again, it requires of us that we become aware of those, all of those aspects, and then categorize them, like literally put them into the category of, okay, temptation to enter the negative flow of consciousness. It's just a temptation, and it's okay that it's there. It's not like you should not tempt me, or whoever you is, they should not tempt me. This tempt me, this should not tempt me. Anything is there for a reason. So this will in effect also what it does on the other side, once we actually take the responsibility for the creation and for entering or not entering these states, it will empower us more. So this is actually an invitation to become more empowered by resisting the temptation of disempowerment. Does that make sense? So therefore, we need to recognize whenever something comes up in the outside world, in our surroundings, or within ourselves, that we have a very fine antennae tuned into what is coming up, that we focus on that. And when we recognize, oh, there is a temptation now, I really want to enter something negative. I feel like I want a negative and respond in a negative way. I feel triggered in a negative way. Then catch yourself. Stop. Breathe. And remember, this is what Mel spoke about. These are times of temptation into the negative. And I get to choose. I can choose to go along with it, and that's fine, and there is no judgment. And I can co-create the negative. Or I can also remind myself what I prefer, what I actually want to live. And so always, when we notice something in the outer world we do not prefer, we do not want, the only way of not creating any more of that is by completely taking our focus and attention and energy away from that thing that we observe, away from that unwanted thing. Don't discuss it, don't try to change it, remove your focus from it, which in effect is the same as take the power back that you're just almost giving away, and then feel disempowered and bad and negative and lost and lonely and small. Take your power back by removing your focus from it. And then place this focus, which is your power, onto what you prefer to experience. For example, it can be vague. If you don't know exactly what it is you want to manifest in the outer world, that's fine. Then say, I want to experience in this moment right now and in the future moments of this day and of tomorrow, inner peace. And whatever I focused on like a minute before has not created inner peace. It has created inner turmoil. So you take your power back and focus, for example, just vaguely but precisely, but you leave it vaguely on inner peace. But then you become very specific about wanting to experience inner peace right now and in the future moments. And that's where your focus lies. So it's like, what can I do right now to create this inner peace? Just by breathing, I feel a lot more peaceful. By thinking thoughts, creating thoughts that make me feel more peaceful, I get more peaceful inside. And then with this, you start to use your creative power into the direction that you want. But first, it is necessary to resist the temptations. They seem to be very persistent and very strong during the next couple of weeks. And I speak to many people, and almost everybody feels at the moment or is caught up in very low vibrational emotional states and psychological states. Like a lot of people feel very down, very discouraged, very sad, very almost desperate, very hopeless. And all these things might be surrounding you right now or might come up in the next couple of weeks. So see them as temptations to enter that state, and then kindly, lovingly say, no, thank you. Resist, but not just resist as in, I don't want you, you're wrong, this is not, blah, blah. Resist in form of taking your power back, taking your focus and attention, and place it on what you actually want to live, what you actually want to experience, and as another component, not just you, but what you want to contribute to the lives of others, to the world as a whole. And if that is more peace, if that is more joy and lightheartedness, and yes, you do have permission to be lighthearted and to be joyful, no matter what's going on in the world. Because only the high vibrational state will create more of high vibe. If they tell you you cannot feel good because there's so much suffering going on, if you feel good, you're cold-hearted, you're not connected to anything, that is a misconception. It's a false statement. Because if you enter low vibrational states, low emotional states, in the name of empathy or misplaced compassion, and you cannot actually engage with the suffering and then lift it up, but you get stuck in it, you're only contributing to this, and then you're another soul stuck in the darkness, like in the dark valley of sadness and of hopelessness. And what we need right now is the light. It's souls who show by example that joy can be lived in any situation, regardless of outer circumstances, that we're not waiting for the outer circumstances to be perfect so that we can feel joyful for 5 minutes, but that we recognize our true essence. We are joy. We came here as joy. Yes, we are dressed up in this human costume, and yes, we are disguised. It does not seem like we're joy. It does not seem like we're love. It does not seem like we're limitless. We are freedom. We are peace. It doesn't seem like it, but we are, and we get to choose whether we remember this and how we're actually going to live it. Not just for ourselves, but for our brothers and sisters, for everybody. By you being happier, more joyful today, lighthearted, hopeful, you are a light. You are a torch for others. And this is so much needed right now. So if you need to hear this from someone else, apart from your inner voice, because you feel, oh, I can't be happy right now because the times are so hard and dense and dark. Oh yes, you can and you should. Because being the light is the only way that the light will become brighter. If you dim your light in order to adapt to a dim world, how on earth is it supposed to get brighter? Be the change you want to see. Be the light. Be the light you use to illuminate the world. And you're not the only one. There are lots and lots and lots of lights. But you need to remember to live this. Live your spirits. Live your excitement. And I don't mean this as just a random statement that you read in a inspirational poetry book. Try it for yourself. If you do it, if you practice it, if you live like that during one day and then live miserably the next, see which day was better. See which day had an influence, had an impact, and which one. You can test this, you can try this. And this is why, one reason why I encourage light bringers, wanderers, light beings, heart people, earth souls or earth angels to focus on their happiness and on their joyful vibrations, on their love connections to whatever they can find in this reality and beyond, to focus on this, because the truth is, the more they do, the brighter they are, and the more they shine for everyone and everything, the universe, the divine, because that's the vibration of the divine. That's the vibration of Source. So that's the encouragement, that's the guidance for these next couple of weeks. Instead of being fearful of what's to come, because it seems scary and threatening, or because you're already maybe in it and it's hard right now, it's okay that it's hard. It is okay, but you can make it lighter for you and therefore be an example for everyone else. Be a beacon of hope for everyone else, because there is every reason to be hopeful. And one practical thing that just comes to mind that I want to give you as a strategy you can use is, if something feels very hard right now and you don't know how to go through something or how to solve a problem, let's say, focus on having already solved it. Focus on having gone through it. Whether you visualize a certain point in time, maybe in 2 weeks' time, when you know this will be behind me then and I will have gone through it, because nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Everything passes. Or whether it's in 2 months' time or whether it's in 2 hours' time. Imagine yourself having gone through it. Imagine yourself, visualize yourself, put yourself into that point in time when it's already over. And then have the feeling of, I did that well. I solved that. Not knowing yet how you did it, but knowing that you did solve it. And the more you connect to that future energy of having solved it, having gone through it, having mastered that challenge, that task, that problem, the more confidence you will develop in this moment to actually use then to go through it and arrive at that point in time. We are truly the creators of our experience. Let's remind ourselves and remember that and use it. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful as the guidance for this month. I'm going to love you and leave you for today. And we're staying connected. And we talk again next time, if you want to.